Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's Monday. It's our favorite day of the week. It's time for headlines. Oh, they got money on the cover. I like money. So the hockey season started recently, and well, you know what happens when hockey season starts. Bars and restaurants, they like to show the games on the television and do promotions, or they kind of like to piggyback on the backs of the sports teams in their local city and stuff like that. And so a bar in Edmonton was told by the Edmonton Oilers legal team that they weren't allowed to use any likeness of the Oilers. They weren't allowed to use the name. They weren't allowed to refer to Jersey or NHL or anything like that because they had no Molson products in their establishment. This establishment likes to support the trendy craft beer train that's happening right now. So they just have local breweries and stuff like that, and because Molson is a partner with the Oilers, they said that they can't do that. It happened at a couple places in Edmonton. The Oilers did say if you have Molson on tap, if you bring Molson products in, then you're entitled to use our likeness, use our name, use our logo, gear. You'll get gear, tickets. You'll have access to all that stuff if you do. But the places didn't want to do that. They just want to support the craft beers. But
so why wouldn't they just bring Molson in on a can on the days they're showing games?
I think it probably doesn't work like that.
Oh.
But to me, well, whatever. The Oilers can do whatever they want, and the pub can do whatever they want too. There's ways around it. You can just be like, "Hey, come support your local sports team."
True. Come watch hockey, right? And everybody knows what kind of hockey you're talking about. So,
but I thought it was interesting. It was kind of like, and if you read the comments, I saw it on Facebook. If you read the comments below, people are all mad at the Oilers, and I'm just like, it's their business. Like, they're protecting their business. Like, Molson has been a partner with the Oilers since they've been in Edmonton. So,
I actually do remember having to deal with legal stuff like that. Like when I worked at Boston Pizza, we had an Xbox game night.
Yeah.
And we actually had to go through legal just to be able to use the Xbox and Xbox Microsoft logos on our little things.
Well, it's like whenever you do any, like even here on YouTube, whenever you use anything, you have, like, it's copyright because everything's which is, to me, copyright rules they're a little bit too harsh, I think. Like, what's a little bit of, I can see both sides of this story.
Yeah.
What's a little bit of promotion? Who cares? But I can also see where the Oilers are coming from because they're trying to protect their partnership with a beer company. So,
yeah, understandable. So, a contract teacher has been placed under arrest for contaminating flutes. I guess there's been a bunch of bodily fluids found on a batch of flutes being sent to a charity in a bunch of schools. And obviously, when people hear bodily fluids, it's not automatically assumed it's spit.
No.
And it wasn't. So he's been arrested, going to jail.
What goes through people's minds? Like, okay, I'm a dude, okay, and I, understand the function of of our bodies and how we, the urges that we get. But I've never just had the urge just to jerk off in a public place or anything like that, right? You're talking about jizz, right? There was jizz
there was jizz on, but it was on the flutes meant for students. So, like, okay, the excitement of being out in the open is one of those things, but it's just I've never understood the process behind people just leaving jizz on stuff for other people to touch.
Yeah, I'm gonna jizz on a flute. What? That's, to me, what I give. It's weird. Okay, no.
If he wants to use a flute as a masturbation device,
then
as long as he keeps the flute and uses it himself, sure.
Yeah, it's just for that. Come on, jeez.
Yep.
So a couple recently got married, and it was found out their story is kind of neat. Everybody gets married and meet whatever, but it turns out 27 years ago they were both born in the same hospital.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they were both born in the same hospital, and so that's pretty neat. I think that's like something you see in a movie, kind of thing. You see where it's like that. It was neat. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's not the best headline, but and it was on the same day apparently. That's why it was more interesting. It was on the same day. It was born in the same hospital on the same day, 27 years ago. Wow. That's weird.
Yeah,
that's
Same birthday.
Interesting.
Yeah. At least you won't forget your wife's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a couple of escaped convicts in Edmonton were captured in an escape room. They managed to escape a low minimum security installation, and they got out, and they're just wandering around this mall, and they went into an escape room, one of those places, and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And the owner was like, "Hey, we'll show you around. We'll show you what it's about." And they went in. I think it was at 8:28, and at 8:30, police showed up.
Oh my god!
Arrested them while they were inside.
That's what I don't understand when you. I hear those escape rooms are pretty cool.
I've heard.
I've never. I think it would be pretty neat to try one, but you can't film or anything in them. You're not allowed to like take any cameras or photos in them. So
No.
no, it would because obviously then the solutions would be on the internet.
That's true.
So
Never thought about it that way.
But I never understood when people escape. Like, okay, you escape. If you escape from Edmonton, you can't stay in Edmonton. In my mind, if I was a prisoner and I escaped, to me, you have to leave the area that you're in. You have to pretty much go to a whole new place.
New province,
Country,
new state.
something, anything. Just because it would obviously be hard to get across.
Yeah. It's also one of those things
whatever,
of
but
you would need money.
yeah,
right?
and it's just... So to stay around, especially just like within 100 kilometers of where you just left, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, and yeah, I totally get it. Like when you hear about people that escape in the states, they're always caught somewhere in the country, far, probably within 50 miles of where they escaped. But they're not like just wandering around a mall, or shopping, or anything like that. It's just
Dumb criminals.
yeah. So
sometimes you get like invited to weddings and stuff like that, and there's just some stigma. You don't go to weddings alone. So, and with today's social media, it's easier to get dates, right? So back in 2015, this woman, she had a wedding to go to, and she put out on her Twitter, "Hey, anybody want to be my date?" kind of thing, just as a joke, right? I don't want to go alone. So somebody responded, and now they're getting married apparently.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool, kind of interesting. That you just kind of and the guy I guess he called in sick to work to go to this wedding with her. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. I guess they knew each other a little bit. They were in the same school or something like that. But so it wasn't like just a complete stranger. But it's kind of interesting, like an interesting story to tell your children or to tell your friends and stuff like that about how you met.
An episode of How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's almost perfectly what it is, eh?
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
I like that show. It was a good show.
It was okay. I really didn't like what they did with Willow. I had a crush on Willow, and then they made her something stupid. The girlfriend of the big dumb guy.
Oh, the I stuck a flute in my pussy girl from
yes, that
American Pie.
That one.
How lame is that?
Yeah, the American Pie girl.
American Pie girl. Yeah.
The band camp girl.
The band camp girl.
Yeah. So a little kitten went for a joyride. It was found inside of the lady's bumper. When she realized that there was meowing coming from the car, she walked around the car, found this kitten inside of the bumper, and asked some of her coworkers to help get the kitten out. And one of the coworkers was the one who drew the lucky straw, grabbed the kitten, pulled it out, and the kitten went
Oof.
And ran off. So, yeah, it's.
They say that like animals, like when it's cold outside, they go up in by like the engine block.
Yeah, because it's warm.
Yeah. Weird.
Well,
I can understand. I get it, but
yeah,
that'd be weird to just start your car up and you start smelling something. What the hell? You think your car's like gonna blow up or something? You pull up the hood and there's a fried cat. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, that actually, now that winter's here, we've actually had the warning here in Alberta anyways, is like, make sure you check your cars for animals before you start them, because they like to hide in your vehicles, and it's like, oh, it's that time of the year again, isn't it?
Yep, that time of year. And you're Canadian when.
Yeah.
No,
we have a skunk in the neighborhood, actually,
oh,
so
lovely.
It's one of those things of just check for animals.
Just check.
You just never know what's wandering around.
That's right. You might even find a moose.
Oh, speaking of moose, at one of our LRT stations, there was a moose using the
walkway.
The walkway, and it was caught on CCTV camera, and the people watching the camera were like, "Hey, we got a moose." So they actually took a picture and shared it on their social media, and
I've always thought it's funny when you see like tourists in the mountains and they stop and there's bears on the side of the road and they stop, get out of their cars and take pictures, and it's like, yeah, that's a tourist. Where us Canadians were like, you don't get out of your fucking car.
we slow down.
You slow down and go, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but you don't get out of the car.
You don't get out of the car.
Because, what was it? I was watching one YouTube one, and it was one of those drive-through safaris, and a guy in the back seat, camera on, right? And this lion walks right up to the door, and you see it do this, and the door opens.
No way.
And it's like,
I think people like they're like, oh, it's just a cat. You're like, no, that's a really big cat.
yeah.
That could hurt. You know, like when your cat bites you, it's like, ow. Sometimes, you know, when one of my bigger cat bites me, it's like, ooh, that hurt. Imagine something
For
10
those of
times
you,
bigger.
For those of you who actually have cats and you play with them and they get a little rough and leave cat scratches and you bleed, right? Well, a big cat has bigger claws that just tear right through your flesh.
I remember I was driving through the mountains one time for work, and I was on a back road or whatever, and these wolves came up to my car, to my van, and I have never seen an animal so big in my life.
Yeah.
This animal, like, on its 4 legs was this high from the ground. It was probably 4 feet tall, and I was like...
Game of Thrones reference? That's the dire wolf, and... Like wolves actually are. They're not these tiny little things. They're not like dog size. These things are like mini horse size. And
it was huge.
Yeah.
Like, it was in front of me, right? And I had to slow down, and then it walked around, and its head was at my wing. I was like, I snapped a couple pictures of it, but I was like, oh my. I would never open my door. I would never roll down a window, ever. I'm like, no way. Lock. I know they can't open doors, but maybe they can, so fuck that shit.
After you see that lion open that door, it's like, look.
No way.
I don't want to be doing that.
Man. Right, what do we got coming this week? We got we got apple.
We're going to eat some delicious apples.
Ooh. No, we got
Apple X.
Apple X and 8.
Apple 8.
It's coming up. We're going to discuss that. And then we're going to continue our Flop Buster series.
Part 4. With a couple other ones.
Tune in and you'll see what we did. And then we're going to be talking about some politics that are going on in the world, or some world events, world happenings. So tune in this week for some excitement on Cool Discussions.
Yay.
Don't forget to like and comment down below. This comment section, you can type whatever you want in there. Anything you want. Doesn't matter.
Only YouTube will censor you.
YouTube might censor you, but, sex bots comment sometimes and all that stuff. So, have a great day, guys.
See ya.